everybody, and welcome to Ed's Boat. A big welcome to all the new subscribers. I know one from Canada, so thank you for subscribing. Where did we get to last time? Well, we had a lot of trouble with cars, still got a lot of trouble with cars. I put my van in for the MOT and it failed, and I put my wife's car in for the MOT and it failed. But we did manage to get her car sorted, and my van did pass in the end, so that's not too bad. Unfortunately, it only ran for about a week and then broke down again. The diesel injector pump either cracked open or split, or something's wrong with it anyway. And a big thank you to Steve Tyrrell, who came and towed me and rescued me. So that's really hindered things working on the boat, but we'll get there in the end. We'll find a way around it anyway. So what have we been up to? Well, not a lot with all the car trouble we've been having, but I did manage to buy some new materials, some more insulation and a bit more wood to finish the battening off inside the boat. So that's well underway. And then it was time to get down and just make some stuff. So this episode, let's make some stuff.
Well, it's a freezing cold day, but we still need to get on with it. So we've lit the fire and that's warming the place up nicely. And today we are going to be making a battery tray and isolation switch holder. So I've started off, got a piece of metal, and I've drawn out a pattern for my battery isolation switch. This was one I'd drawn round from another one I'd made earlier. So we'll get on with that, we'll put that in the vise, we'll cut it out and drill some holes.
So there we are, we're all roughed out. That's the holes in the outside cut. We'll clean that up in a second. Just took it out with a 22mm hole saw in the end of a cordless drill, and then drilled two 6mm holes to bolt it up with. Quick deburr with a hand deburring tool, all done with a cordless drill. Whole job so far, I don't know, 10 minutes. So yeah, we're well on the schedule to get it all done today. Maybe an early finish. So this is just a standard battery isolation switch which we're going to mount into it. You can buy these anywhere. This came off eBay. They take up to sort of 150 or 110 amps or something like that. You know, they're rated for it, so we should be fine with that. That will mount up inside this plate here, and we'll weld that to the battery frame. So now we come to make the battery tray. At home I had a new bed, but what I did was, rather than just throw the old bed out, I stripped the material out of it. So that's a piece of angle iron that was the side rail of the bed. I've already made one battery tray with the other side. I've got a little bit of offcut left, so we'll use that. So we've put that in the vise. We're going to cut that. I've done all the measurement, we're all ready to go. So we'll cut that, and that'll be ready to make the new leisure battery tray, which will take 3 batteries. So there you are, the battery tray is all made. We've welded on the isolation bracket there. We've welded on some 6mm rod, which helps hold the lid down. As you can see, it takes 3 batteries. They're just old batteries that came with the boat. They're no good. I just use them as spacers so I could make the tray. We fitted a wooden base as well, and also the lid
to it is the clamp. That actually clamps it down. When it comes to boat safety, the deck boards technically count as a cover for the batteries, but they prefer it if there's a barrier between the batteries and the possibility of anything falling into it, like spanners and that sort of thing, causing shorts. So we've used a decent piece of plywood, which was some scrap wood that used to be the old partitioning from the boat, which we're going to replace with new stuff. So there you are. Now all we need to do is give it a good coat of primer and a coat of paint and weld it into where the battery bay is going to be. But we'll save that for another day.
Let's answer your questions. So with the latest technology, I've noted down some of the more common questions that have come in through this YouTube channel, and we'll try and address them as best we can. Andy Howard asks, do you have any experience in this field? Well, I've had a bit of experience in a lot of fields, but no, not a boat. I've not done a boat of any type before, particularly a narrow boat. I've restored motorcycles and old go-karts and played around with Land Rovers and stuff like that, but pretty much no. Using the experience that I have had with my other projects, I think I can just about pull this one off, but we'll see, eh? The next one is Aerofan John. I assume overheating problems are not an issue with an air-cooled engine. They're not, and they are. Very much like a Volkswagen Beetle engine, they still can overheat even though they're air-cooled. If you work the engine really hard and it's a really hot day, yeah, they can breathe a bit heavy, blow a bit of smoke. But generally, no, they're not the trouble of the water-cooled engines, and you can run them for quite a while. They're very slow revving, and they don't generate that much heat. But it is possible to go into overheat, but nothing that can't be cured with pulling over for a short while, just let them cool down a bit. Right, Mark Dunker, I think, or Duncher. Is the engine going to be set up on flexible engine mounts? No. The original engine mounts are wooden. They've been in 40 years. I think that's probably okay. They're in good condition. I've put them back in. I like wooden engine mounts. They take out the vibration. They're very, very tough, and they don't overflex. A lot of these modern anti-vibration engine mounts you get flex too much, and it puts way too much twist on everything else, and I don't like it. And besides that, they're very unreliable. You have to change them every so often, and without a top brace on the engine, I personally wouldn't want to use them. And besides that, the Lister SR3 engine is really well balanced. It doesn't shake much anyway. R. Grundy and John Brooks have asked, how did I fix the wooden battens to the side of the boat? Well, you didn't see it in the video, but there is pieces of angle iron welded down the sides that the previous owner had put in, I think. They just needed drilling, so I could just put the wooden battens straight on. So you didn't see that in the video, but they were there. Right. John Black asks, is the gas locker a view of your daily trade? Yeah, it is actually. I'm an engineer by trade, and I've got a lot of fabrication skills and worked on many, many things in the past within my job. So yeah, it was quite a quick job for me. That it wasn't the best I could have done, but it was okay and perfectly good for what I need. So yeah, doing the fabrication skills and that sort of thing, the metalwork, not much of a problem for me really. Right, Trish Lewis asks, can you turn the volume of the music down a bit? Yeah, I can a bit. I like the music, that's why I chose it, but I'll turn it down a bit for you. How about that? Martin Parker asks, how did I make the temporary flue for the stove? Well, I didn't. It came with the boat. Originally, that flue was a flexible flue wrapped in insulation, and it was for the original water boiler. So I just pinched it. It seemed to be the same size. It's just getting by for the time being. So, no, it was just something I found about. So, the last question is from a friend of mine, actually, Sue Berry, who asks, what's the name of your boat? Now, I'm surprised that she's the first person to ask this, but she is. One or two of my friends do know the name of the boat, and I'd like you to keep that a secret if you can. What I might do is open it up for maybe a competition or something later on. Or if you'd suggest a really good name, I'd be interested to hear, because they can be funny and entertaining, can't they? But we'll reveal the name of the boat much later on. Whether I choose to change it or not, I'm not sure yet. But we will do all that later on, probably when we get to painting the boat, I'd guess. So that's all your questions answered, hopefully. If you've got any more questions, do let me know. Just pop them in comments and I'll read through them, and then I'll do a job lot like this again. So we're pretty much there for this episode, and thank you very much for watching. I've had a little dig by one of the viewers who said, can we make them a bit longer? I tend to make them 8 to 10 minutes if I possibly can, because I'm doing all this with a phone app.
My phone doesn't hold that much in memory, so yeah, 8 to 10 minutes is probably the most it's ever going to be. But in the meantime, we'll crack on and we'll let you know as more happens. So in the meantime, take care, see you soon.